Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I would be talking about a real world comeback story that's pretty amazing and teaches us something very valuable in business. I would be talking about Ford Motor Company. Yes, the famous car brand Ford. It almost went out of business, but they made a huge comeback. So let's find out आखिर क्या हुआ था and what were the strategies that they followed to overcome from that situation. तो उसके लिए हमें जानना होगा थोड़ा सा पहले. Let's get back to 2006. Ford wasn't doing very great. They were facing lots of problems. Even they were losing billions of dollars. Imagine they lost around $17 billion in just a single year. The cars weren't very popular among the citizens, and even there were trust factor Ford को लेकर among the citizens कि कार अच्छी नहीं है, and there were various other issues as well. But the main concern at that time was the fuel efficiency. The Ford's big trucks and the big SUVs weren't great upon that. इसके अलावा फोर्ड के अंदर कुछ इंटरनल इश्यूज भी थे, लाइक द मैनेजमेंट एंड द लीडरशिप अंडर द फोर्ड वाज़न्ट गोइंग वेरी वेल. दे वर स्टक कि अब करें तो करें क्या. बट फोर्ड अकेली कंपनी नहीं थी. देयर वर अदर कंपनीज लाइक क्रिसलर एंड इवन जनरल मोटर्स जो कि सेम सिचुएशन में थे उस टाइम. बट फोर्ड डिड समथिंग वेरी डिफरेंट. सो लेट्स फाइंड आउट. एंटरिंग एलन मुलाली, the right person at the right time, and I would say at the right place. He wasn't from the car background, but he was a former Boeing executive. But he was the hero for the Ford. He was the man who literally saved Ford. So when he entered Ford, he said that we need to change, and we need to change it fast. And trust me, he did it. When he joined Ford, he took some very important decisions. He stopped some unnecessary tasks जो फालतू में ही हो रहे थे कंपनी के अंदर, and introduced one Ford strategy. That is कि हम वही प्रोडक्ट्स बनाएंगे जिसमें हम बेस्ट बना पाएंगे. एंड व्हाट वर दे? They were like Mustang and F-150 and even the cars that were more fuel efficient. तो उसके बाद क्या होना था? Ford literally revamped. They produced good looking cars with more fuel efficiency and even they earned the trust of the people. The most successful car of the Ford was the Ford Fusion Hybrid. That was a good looking car with the fuel efficiency at a high pace, and it was one of the most successful things that Ford produced at that time. उसके अलावा फोर्ड अपनी कार में रेगुलर चेंजेस लाता था. लाइक जैसे जैसे टेक्नोलॉजी बढ़ रही थी तो फोर्ड अपनी कार्स में उसी तरीके की अपग्रेडेशन ला रहा था जिससे कि वो एक जगह पे आके लैक ना कर जाए या स्टक ना कर जाए. बट कहानी और भी ज्यादा इंटरेस्टिंग होती है इन 2008 व्हेन फाइनेंशियल क्राइसिस हिट हार्ड. दिस वाज द टाइम व्हेन बिग फर्म्स वर वेरी स्केयर्ड. इवन कुछ बिजनेसेस शट डाउन हो गए थे. बट फोर्ड मेड अ बोल्ड मूव. दे इन्वेस्टेड देयर मनी इनटू द इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल सेगमेंट. And that was very risky at that time because electric vehicles उस टाइम पे इतनी पॉपुलर नहीं थे जितने की वो अब हैं. But they took a risk that time and उनके लिए आज वो बहुत ज्यादा fruitful हो चुका है. They invested their money into making the electric cars, like they made Mustang Mach-E and F-150 Lightning. That is basically the electric version of both of their cars and their trucks. And that was a huge success for Ford. Fast forward to today, Ford is doing literally great. They are not just surviving, they are thriving into the markets. The electric cars is very popular among the citizens, and also their trucks are much stronger than ever. The Ford is a leader in both the traditional trucks and the modern cars. But wait, the story doesn't end here. Ford didn't just made a comeback in US and Europe. They also made a comeback in India. In 2021, Ford left India, and it was looking like a end of the Ford era in India. But Ford never disappeared from Indian hearts. Even their cars like Ford EcoSport and Ford Endeavour rule Indian roads. उसके बाद क्या होना था? Ford literally made a comeback last year and they sent a document to the government relating that they would be handling the exports from India and would not focus on the domestic sales right now. But they literally made a huge comeback in India again. तो हमने आखिर Ford की स्टोरी से क्या सीखा? The first thing is the leadership is the key. Ellen Mulally took some very serious decisions and important decisions that were very crucial at that time. दूसरी चीज है adaptability. फोर्ड ने अपने आप को हर चेंजिंग सिचुएशंस के साथ चेंज किया है. उन्होंने री इन्वेंट किया अपने आप को. हर जैसे कुछ भी चेंजेस आते थे वो अपनी कार में तुरंत वो चेंजेस लाने की कोशिश करते थे. सो री इन्वेंशन इज द की. What do you think? How you would have solved this problem if you would have been in their place? What strategies could you have followed to solve the problem? I would love to hear your opinions, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I would be meeting you in the very next video. Till then, bye bye.